I'm going to be honest with you right now. The hike sucked. I want to say that it's because we haven't hiked in a while, but it kind of did suck.
No, I feel like dead hikes are harder to like feel the nature around you. You know, like when all the trees around you are dead, right? Like it's harder to kind of like take everything in.
Yeah, I mean, like, we've talked about this, and I had a maybe solution. I mean, maybe conclusion about it in my mind. It's just like, I mean, it could be, it couldn't be. Maybe it just sucks as a hike. And we went to this location the first time. Do not try this at home or on a hike on sub 100 degrees. And it freaking...
You mean over 100 degrees?
Was it over?
Yeah, it was for a little bit. It was over 100 degrees.
Gosh, this particular hike, the area we were at, the heat was just resonating off the ground, and I thought, that it was just how hot it was. It was to a point where I dropped my phone at one point. And we were just in the middle of walking back. I was like, oh, I dropped my phone. I don't even want to walk back and find the phone.
you were just dead ass ready to leave your phone.
But we revisited this area because we didn't check a certain trail yet. And I still felt the resonating heat.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was trying to tell you. Yeah. You know, I think... So, similar to... similar to last time when we were talking about spirituality, for anyone who hasn't seen a spirituality episode on YouTube, we have a spirituality episode on YouTube. Sorry for the audio quality. It's one of our outtakes. It's on the Patreon as well. But anyway, you know, I feel like it's a combination of science and spirituality, right?
Yeah. So let's just explain. Like, so in the trail that we did, you said it was a bunch of like death. And we kind of nicknamed it Hell's Pass.
Hell's Pass, yeah, because it was so fucking hot.
Yeah, it was so fucking hot, but at the same time, you were making the point to me that there wasn't a lot of life.
Yeah, so, I mean, I feel like, and, you know, in spiritual concepts, you see this less in theology and more so in, I'd say less in philosophy as well, and more so in, like, spiritual practices, that... The reason that you're feeling more drained on like those specific hikes is not only because of the dirt packing and reflecting the sun, making the ground hotter, you know, so like you're sweating more, the hike's more tiring because with less trees around, it's also hotter because trees cool off the area with you know the stuff that trees do.
Yay, trees.
Yeah. And not just trees, but grass and everything as well. You know, and when the plants are dead, they can't really help us out with that good oxygen and absorbing the sunlight. But you know, also because there's less alive things in the area, you know, we subconsciously take in life energy from the air. Like there's a lot of other life things around us. There's a lot of that sounded stupid. Everything around us...
Life force.
Yeah. There's a lot of life force. Everything around us is alive. So while we're hiking through it, you know, or walking through it in an area with more life, it's easier to get less winded just because you're subconsciously like taking all of that stuff in. And you can focus your mind to bring it in even more. Or, you know, there are people that really practice on focusing their minds in order to harness that, in order to have more stamina or do greater things. But just, you know, just like in general, it's easier, like the exact same hike on the exact same trail. If there's a bunch of dead trees or a bunch of alive trees, it's just easier to hike with a bunch of alive trees.
Yeah, and it really is hard to show someone that difference different in viewpoint because, again, we did take that hike the first time and it was stupid hot. And then the next hike we did was for one freaking beautiful. I think that was still the best hike I've ever taken in my life.
Oh yeah, same. Yeah. It was stupid hot that day too.
It was stupid hot that day. Yeah.
But the thing is, like, you couldn't feel it even when we weren't in the shade because we were just around so much life. You know, like not only just the trees, but like.
And I was just saying, oh, aren't we just? There's a lot of shade.
Yeah, but I mean, like we weren't even in the shade for most of the hike. Yeah, you know, it was just like there's a lot of trees, water, animals, and. You know, it's just it's just an easier feeling to get less winded. We were even doing it on an incline and a decline.
Yeah.
And just bringing in the life around us kind of helped us out. You know, it'd be the same thing as like walking 6 miles in the wilderness versus walking 6 miles in the city is a lot easier. Yeah, but there's scientific reasons for that too, because like the city streets are black and like the tar absorbs the heat and then it resonates off, and then walking on the concrete is bad for your knees. But you know, it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and we are naturally affluent towards liking nature and being one with nature.
Yeah. We're animals after all, right? Yeah. So like all animals, I guess you could say, are spiritual beings. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean it's kind of weird to think about, right? Like as humans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know people will argue the point that I made this point last time when we were talking, and I said there can be an argument that man-made things is also just a part of nature.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, like I agree with that somewhat too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's just like there's nothing on this planet that's not natural.
Yeah.
But what I equate it to is like cancer is natural, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like cancer naturally develops in the body, and it just gets killed by your other cells, and then like eventually when you live too long, then like that cancer slips away. It just has more chances to slip away.
Yeah.
And then does slip away, and then it grows, and then it multiplies, and like it kills you, just like we're killing the earth. And it's just like it's not like cancer is unnatural. You know, it's not like buildings themselves are unnatural, but like just because it's natural doesn't mean it's good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think that like a life so obviously there's a lot of reasons why anyone would want to move out of New York or California. But you think perhaps maybe that sensibility to move a little bit further west or further east into the mids, where there's I wouldn't say it would be less city and more life. Would that be a big factor in something like that?
Personally, I think it's financial. I think it's a little bit of both.
Because I get a lot of people that complain about the weather here.
Yeah. So,
me included.
That's true. But I think it was funny. I was having this conversation with Christine, you know, the editor.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that there's a lot of pressure that comes with city life. And so other than the finances, because I mean the finances are a big part and everyone knows about that. But in city life, you have to sacrifice things in order to get by, you know. And I'm not even saying like super urban life. I'm talking about
suburbs.
Yeah, suburb life. You know, you work a 9 to 5. You know, you wage slavery or not, like you have to work for someone else to kind of make a living, and your free time is a product of whatever you have left over, and not something that you've necessarily created for yourself, right? You're not necessarily big friends with everything in the community or everyone in the community. Like the community is very like spread out. And when you go to more rural areas, not only is nature more calming and you get more of a peace of mind, but like, you know, everyone too. And like in smaller towns, like I personally, so I love small towns to visit. I think that living in one in my old age would be fun. I think that living there as a kid would suck ass. But I think living there as an adult, even though it would suck ass compared to living in the city, I kind of feel like you're more relaxed and less stressed. And that's just because as animals, we're in our natural environment.
I feel like you really should watch Lady Bird.
Oh,
yeah. It really tackles, I mean, no, I wouldn't say so much spiritual stuff that we're talking about right now, but it's like, from what I got from the first watch, funny enough, I watched it alone in the theater. That was awesome. But I got it in the film as she's a townie and the struggles of being a townie in Sacramento. But maybe if I view it for a second time, and I might watch it, and we might talk about this for another day, that I could get a different sense about this.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. I saw some pretty good reviews on Lady Bird.
A lot of good reviews.
Yeah.
I personally love it.
I forgot what it was specifically that they were saying, and maybe that's a good thing. So like when I see the movie, I can go in it fresh. But they were saying more than just being a townie. You know, I guess it was something about like her relationship with like the relationship with those around her. I don't know, but you know, good. I'll be fresh when going into it. You know, in fact, I've only seen one movie in the movie theater alone.
Really?
Or 2 movies in the movie theater alone. The first one was Cloverfield.
Okay.
Just because like I was 13.
Wait, you were alone for Cloverfield?
Yeah. So
How did that happen?
I was 13, and I was just like, oh, I can finally see a PG-13 movie. So I just had my parents drop me off at the theater alone, and I was just like, yeah, I'm buying this ticket because I don't need my parents.
How far along did that movie come out?
Cloverfield. Let's see. Probably in like 2008.
So you're like on the latter end of that release date, I guess, and no one wanted to see it anymore because they knew it wasn't that good.
No. It was just like I don't even know. I just wanted to go.
You were just lucky, I guess.
I just wanted to go because I didn't ask anyone. I just wanted to be able to get in the theater without needing my parents.
Okay.
So I mean, like I was just like, yeah, I can drop me off at the movie theater. Like I don't even remember if I had a girlfriend at that time.
I swear to God, my first time at the theater, I was not 13.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean by that?
It was with my brother and my neighbor. We were all around junior. Or what's the way to get in? So if you're underage, how much older does the other person need to be?
I know for rated R movies, the other person has to be 21.
Of course. And what about PG-13?
I don't know. Maybe like 17, I think.
Okay. Well, I and my neighbor were still in junior high.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother was finally in high school. So I don't know of that. But I definitely was not. We were seeing pretty rated PG films.
Yeah. I see. Yeah, and then the second one was I'm trying to remember the movie. I think it was Despicable Me.
Mm-hmm.
I was on a date with a girl, and she stood me up.
Oh, no.
And I already bought my ticket, and I bought her ticket. So I went in and I saw the movie alone. Yeah, that one was more sad though.
What? You've never told me that.
Yeah, the first story was like a happy story, but the second one was a sad story.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Alone too.
Yeah, and then it was funny because the next time
it would have been the most romantic date.
Yeah, the next time I saw Despicable Me was also in a theater, but I was with someone at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I'm gonna leave it at that.
All right. Back to Lady Bird. I feel like how would you feel? How do you generally feel about townies?
And townies?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, so I think the fact that you're in a small town gives you like a limited view or a limited perception of the world.
Yeah.
Which, and I'm not trying to generalize. I'm just saying with a lot less people, there's a lot less viewpoints kind of.
But I mean, what if
around.
your whole life was just in a town, like maybe even in a closed space? I mean, like if you live your whole life as a townie, that's just pretty much as it is, right?
Well, yeah, I know. Yeah. So I mean, there's goods and bads to that, right?
Yeah.
Because like, if you're by yourself in the town, or not by yourself, but like if you're in a small town, like I said, there's a lot less viewpoints flowing around. There's a lot less people coming through, and you have more of an ignorance to life. You know, when it comes to like, let's say that there's a lot of Hispanics in the community, but there aren't a lot of Asians.
Yeah.
Yeah. So both the majority and the minority would both be ignorant towards Asian ethnicities, because there just aren't any Asians in the community, because the community lacks Asian representation, you know, blah, 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 blah. So, I feel like in a sense, like that could be the downside of being a townie. But at the same time, I think there's some sort of poetics to,
community. Yeah.
To community, and just, I guess, knowing everything about the community, just growing up there. Me though, I'm big on travel. So I myself would want to live in a small town and then want to live in a big city. You know, I think everyone should experience all walks of life before, before dying. You know, you shouldn't just, if you live in the city, you shouldn't just live in the city till you die. If you live in a small town, you shouldn't just do that either. I think you should kind of get around, spend a little time in each, and kind of just feel out for which one you like more, and then just gravitate more towards that way.
I'm going to be real ignorant right now because I don't know. Do the Tibetan monks travel?
Yeah.
Do they? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean, like, I know that, so I'm not 100% like knowledgeable about this topic too, but I know that in a lot of religions, in Mormonism specifically, actually, which is kind of funny, they prompt people to travel. Like they prompt once someone comes of age, like the age of 18, they prompt him to travel. I believe it's like 2 years before coming back to the. I was going to call it a temple, but coming back to the church.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe it's the same for. I know it's the same for Quakers as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's the same for Tibetan monks. I think with Tibetan monks, it's more so of like travel if you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they just like they prefer the type of life that they have in the mountains.
Yeah, I think that's in a sense a really cool irony of it all, because they yearn for peace and simplicity by traveling and seeing the complexities of the world.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it's crazy.
I mean, well, it's kind of like the Buddha, right? Like he's just like, I'm too fucking rich, so like, so like he travels the world. And
was he rich?
Yeah, he was.
What
rich.
did he do?
He was a prince.
Oh, he was royalty.
Yeah, he was royalty.
Okay.
And then so he saw a lot of suffering outside of his castle, and he's just like, man, like how come everyone's sad? You know, he's just like, I'm not really too happy myself. So he's just like, riches are the bane of all evil. He throws it off, and then he starts traveling, and he's poor, and he's just like, yeah, this shit sucks too. So like after going through like finding out that being poor is shitty and then being rich is shitty, he kind of he meditates under a tree for a really long time, and under the tree he finds enlightenment, and then he's just like, you know what really needs to be done is like balance. It's not being rich or being poor, it's wanting things.
And I can remember a statistic I read up that we can compare a very affluent rich person next to a person of not so much of that, not so much of that fortune, and they tested their overall happiness at the time, and they were both.
Wait, is this the study with like 75,000 a year or something like that?
I don't. I don't remember the specifics of it, but they gave the person of misfortune a butt ton of money, and then to preface, the guy that was poor was not happy. The guy that was rich was okay. Then they gave the guy a fuck ton of money, and I mean they didn't give it to him. He ended up with a fuck ton of money, and they tested his overall happiness, and he was initially happy and then stabilized to just okay. Yeah, and I think wow, that's kind of incredible to think about. Like, it goes with the money isn't happiness, but I know you have a little bit to say about that matter. But it's at the same time, it's like maybe there's something spiritual about us that yearns for more simplicity.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess that's what the Buddha was after, right?
Yeah.
Like, he was saying that, like, it's your wants and your desires, like basically like your gluttony for like your greed and in being envious of others, and that's what breeds unhappiness. You know, you should find happiness in the things that you have and in existing. You know, if you have aspirations, that's cool, but I guess he'd be like the opposite of a capitalist, right? Because like in capitalism, just like you got to be hungry, you got to want it, and Buddha like preaches like no, like being hungry and wanting it, like that's what makes you unhappy when you don't obtain these goals or that you haven't obtained these goals yet. I know that I know that there was a study with similar to what you were saying, that money is equated to happiness. You know, it's like a correlation, not causation.
Yeah.
So the more money someone makes, the happier they are until it hits $75,000 a year, and then for everything after that, it is diminishing returns on the happiness. So it's not like they're getting less happy, but all the dollars after that makes them not as happy as the dollars before. So I say, you would say someone that makes $90,000 a year would be happier than the $75,000 a year guy, but not by much.
Okay.
Yeah, and then so like the more money you get, like the smaller the increments are on the happiness. So basically, make around $75,000 to $80,000 a year, and then just partake in your passions. You know, and then money breeds happiness in other places too, because like in other studies, people that make more money have more time to pursue those passions. But again, that's a correlation, not a causation. So like, make as much money as you can to still have free time to do stuff, and you know, do the stuff that you like to do, and then just keep your money and at like the 75,000 and like around there mark. Yeah, it's easier said than done, right? Because like I'm poor as shit.
But you heard it here first. An ignorant take. You gotta make $75,000 to be just happy. It's crazy how we're just so bogged down by these societal norms and almost a spiritual sense. Because I remember I literally told you yesterday that I would be happy poor.
Oh yeah.
If I was alone. That's the thing, right? Because it's like that's what Buddha would have wanted of me to feel. But it's like, if I get a girlfriend, I don't think she'd appreciate that.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, it's even weirder because I don't know, did we mention this in the previous spirituality video? Chris McCandless and like I was gonna say.
Oh no, we know.
Breath
No,
of the
we
Wild.
never. Breath
Into the wild.
You never mentioned him.
Oh, okay. So it's quick side note. Chris McCandless, Into the Wild. I'm pretty sure everyone's read that book in high school, but if you don't remember, it's a guy who pretty much has his life set out. He true story, by the way. He was really good with school. Like he just graduated. He had a job coming in, money coming in,
new car, blah blah blah.
Yeah, and then he left his car in the wilderness. Like he was just driving and just like pulled over, left his car there, and he went backpacking the world until he died. And spoiler alert coming ahead. He ends up dying at the end of the book.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of already...
No, I mean, like, I didn't say what age he died.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he ends up dying at the end of the book after, I think, like 3 or 4 years of backpacking because he gets poisoned. And so the book itself are his diary entries. And he puts... So this man is, more spiritually...
I love what he put at the end, too.
Yeah, so this man is more spiritually enlightened than, like, most people, right? Like, I would say, because he traveled for a living.
Yeah.
And he said that everything was great, but he would have preferred to be with someone that he loved or to do it with someone that
happiness deserves to be shared.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like so what I was going to say with your point is I think society puts a pressure on us to find a mate when you don't necessarily need one to be happy. However, when you have people in like higher positions that are like pursuing their own happiness by themselves, you always get the whole like Steve Jobs saying that he would have traded his wealth for his family, right? And
that freaking guy.
Yeah, and it's stuff like that. And so, it makes you realize that maybe society is not like necessarily putting that damper on us, or maybe a little bit, but it's just like an inherent need to want to be with people.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of weird, but like I guess we're just social creatures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you've told me before you would drop everything on a hat if you had the given scenario.
Oh yeah, fuck that. I'd be Chris McCandless all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be like you wouldn't even know where the fuck I am. I'd be in Antarctica.
I'd say I like being alone in a sense, but I do vibe off of the relationships of people I make. Just anyone I talk to, I give 100% of the time, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And I think that's spiritual enough for me.
And you know what? Like thinking about it, I don't even think it's necessarily romantic relationships that he was talking about. I think that
he definitely didn't.
Yeah, I think that even
I feel like he would have wanted just his family to like know where he was,
Yeah, or maybe like friends, just platonic relationships. I think that just any sort of relationship in general. Like maybe you don't have to throw everything to the wind.
Yeah.
For like a loving relationship, right? Or for like a romantic relationship. Like maybe just as long as you're happy and you have someone to share that happiness with, whether it be friends, family, or lover, maybe that's just enough. Yeah, and it's kind of like I don't know how much that relates to you being a bodhisattva.
Remind them what that means.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the previous episode about it, basically it's someone who forsakes enlightenment. Yeah, because of the suffering of others, But I think that kind of ties into your core personality because you have more of a laid back, like a non-hungry approach, like more of a Buddhistic personality, right? Like you're happy with what you have and the things that make you happy you do.
Yeah.
But you're not necessarily like driven out there to like be the best at this sport or something. Like you're just happy.
Yeah, and we were talking about drive too.
Yeah, and I think and the only times that because you're pretty fuck the world, right? But the only times that you're not fuck the world when it comes to the suffering of people, and I honestly think that you are a bodhisattha.
Oh,
you know,
wow.
in-
Yeah.
in
No,
that
I
regard.
legit did not claim myself. He told me about this one day. I was like, what the hell is that? Yeah. But I think yeah, it's crazy, and I think Ben deserves a lot of happiness for what he gets about in his life because he's one of the most spiritual persons I know, for sure, without a doubt. But where was I going with that?
I have no idea.
Yeah, no, but he rides a lot of this talks because he really is a very spiritual guy. What a this random thought just popped in my head. How did Buddha feel about having children?
About having children?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I'll look that up.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
I mean, like,
He that's a part of some people's happiness.
yeah, he said, like, other than the stuff we already talked about, that
Yeah.
happiness is, like, helping and giving to others.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then, but, like, you also, for happiness, you need to detach yourself. And it sounds like a paradox.
Yeah.
But basically, to be happy, you have to not care. But you have to care. Like, you know, the fact that you care allows you to be happy, but the fact that you don't care allows you to detach yourself from all the worries of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Find the things that attach you to the world.
Oh, so it's some Avatar fucking
And then
reference.
let her go. It's like, what? I agree with Aang.
No, so yeah, so
Yeah.
Bodhisattva.
Yeah, I agree. It's like, damn, dude, like he had so much riding on him. If he's being an avatar for a good reason.
Okay, and I mean, if we're talking about Avatar,
Yeah.
I think his happiness takes the back seat of the weight of the world. Well, okay, well, what do you think about that? So when it comes to the weight of the world, what do you think is more important, your personal happiness or the greater good for others?
I thought about this, and I think they both are in tangent. Tangent. They both are parallel in a sense because it's like for some people's happiness, it is the world.
Mhm. Okay. For you personally,
Yeah.
if you had to sacrifice a net amount of happiness, not all of your happiness, but like a good chunk of it, and I can't say like the love of your life because you're not in a relationship.
Yeah.
But maybe you love music, right?
Of course.
So like the ability to play music,
Mm.
but to end racism.
I'd drop it in a hat.
So you think that it's more important for you, or it's more important for people, but you specifically,
Yeah.
to care about the greater good rather than personal happiness?
Yeah. And I know that sounds like an uncompromising answer to me, and some people will be like, "Yeah, you haven't experienced it yourself." I really do believe in my core ability to drop one of my passions for something this great.
What if it's the ability to hear music? Like whenever music comes on, you just go deaf.
Music's not everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Music really is not everything.
Okay, well, what about in a scenario where you have to kill one person
Oh no.
to save 10 people? Like, but you have to like purposely kill this one, or would you do that? Or
See, the first two questions were to my personal sacrifice. To this sort of question, it's hard, and I'm going to have to answer it, of
Mhm.
course. But I can't have so much power to just end one life or another, several,
Mhm.
because it's like
okay, here.
no one should have that power.
In this scenario, because I know that this scenario has been pitched and research studied.
Okay.
There's a bus,
Okay.
and there's an extremely endowed man.
Just one bus.
No. Next to you, you're on a bridge.
Oh, okay.
So you're on a bridge.
We're on a bus right now.
No, you're on a bridge
Oh, I'm on a bridge
over the highway.
over the highway.
A bus is going under the bridge,
Okay.
and at the end of the highway, there's like 50 school kids. If you push this guy off the bridge and the bus hits this guy, the bus will stop because his momentum and like the driver brake or whatever. But you know for a fact if you don't push this guy off the bridge, then those kids will die.
Yeah. You're not seeing this right now, viewers, but I'm thinking hard.
It's a tough question,
It is a tough question,
especially
Yeah.
since you have to like.
Yeah. How like endowed this guy is like has all the answers of the world?
No. Endowed as in like physically, he's like kind of, he's either really buff or really, really heavy set.
I would push him.
You would?
I would push him.
Because, so, like, the fact that he's a really big person, whether buff or heavy
No,
set
that didn't change.
No. I'm saying the fact that he is important because it'll derail the bus. Or something.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. I literally just put my answer down to a general number. Mm-hmm. It was just 1 or 50. It sucks that I had to do that.
So, kind of like, basically the price of a human soul, like no matter who it is, it's just one. Yeah, that's
and like we always talk about these decisions that we have to make. Like we should truly believe that all human souls are equal.
Yeah.
But these situations are always given to us to show us that sometimes there are choices that have big consequences. Mm-hmm. And none of those choices would make me happy.
Well, of course not.
I would push that man off. I'd be freaking I probably wouldn't live the rest of my life happy at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'd probably jump off with him, honestly.
Yeah, it's just like I think I could stop the bus. Yeah. That would be a personal thing.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if given the choice and you have to choose, I see what you mean. Yeah. And it's hard because, like, I'm always with those kind of decisions. I'm always back and forth. Like, sometimes when I'm in like my analytical state of mind, I'd be like, yeah, you know, it's really important to save those kids. But then sometimes I'm like the anime guy in me is just like, well, I'll find another way. There's no...
Sometimes these questions I just have instant answers to. Like the baby or the dog. Yeah, fuck the baby.
Wait, you choose a dog over a baby?
We have enough humans.
Damn, dude. Okay, that's a hot take.
Yeah, no, I think... I thought I told you this before. You did? Yeah, I was like, no, fuck the baby. There's 8 billion people on Earth.
So there's a baby and a dog drowning in the river next to you, and you're just like, I can only save one. They're like, come here, doggy.
Yeah, I mean, society would make me want to save the baby. You know what I mean?
But honestly, no one was looking. Everyone was like, oh, like the mom was obviously not there. She's just like, you know, like, fuck my baby. I'm going to get some Starbucks. Yeah, she just left her baby in a river. And
at the same time, you're thinking, she's like, well, if she's this neglectful.
Oh no!
I'm gonna take this baby out of its misery.
Oh no, that's bad.
That's bad.
I mean, I would save the baby.
Yeah.
I would save but I mean, you know me. I'm the guy that cried when I accidentally I accidentally hit a fucking bird on the highway.
Okay, at the end of the day, I will save the baby. But if I retract myself and think about this like real hard, I'd probably save the dog. You know what I mean?
No, I get you. I get you. Yeah, it's with that. you just made me.
You didn't think I'd say that, huh?
the whole fucking horoscope thing. You know what? I'd save the baby because I'm a Cancer. I'm just kidding.
Oh no. No, don't put a Scorpio in that. Yeah, let's not ask the Scorpio that question. He wouldn't save either.
No. Well, I mean, like, you already know how I feel with that.
Yeah, and the viewers should know how we both feel about horoscopes. Yeah. in the more basic practice, it's nice, but don't let it.
Yeah, don't
let it cloud your personality.
I think exactly. Like I think it's cool to believe in it and like have a little fun with it, but like. If you're letting it rule your decisions, then obviously it's fucking stupid. I don't believe in modern horoscopes. However, just like I guess a quick rehash, huh? Mm-hmm. I believe that it contributes somewhat to your personality, right? Because like you got the nature there, like you got your genetics from your parents, so like your parents are assholes, you're an asshole, and then you got the nurture. You were raised by a foster family that was also assholes, so you're like a double asshole, and then you're then you got like. 0.05% of it being your horoscope. You know, like your horoscope says that you're an air sign, so you're like not an asshole.
Yeah.
And then so like
just barely.
Yeah, just barely. So like you're like mostly asshole with a free mind.
Yeah.
You know, you're not 100% stubborn like if you were born an earth sign, but you know, I think it's all pieces to a puzzle, and it's not just like one thing fits all.
Oh yeah, I think spirituality is basically the same thing. Like spirituality, I think what people mistake about spirituality is they always try to narrow it down to like one thing. And we talked about
like
this
during...
exactly. We talked about this during the outtake. It's just like meditation isn't just it. You know what I mean?
And you were saying that you that you've never been able to meditate, right?
No, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, no, I mean, I feel the same. Sorry, I interrupted you. You can
No, that was endpoint.
Oh, endpoint. Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, like, yeah, I feel the same. It's not a be all end all, but like meditative practices would help you in other aspects of your life, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's not just you got to be spiritual or you got to be. I mean, because you know, I'm in love with science. You know, I'm like a physicist and a writer by nature, pretty much, and you know, or I'm you know, I'll take that back. I'm not a physicist by nature. I just love it a lot. Like I love looking up topics like that. Yeah. Writer by nature though.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, a lot of people are really focused on having science kill religion or religious studies, but like religion and spirituality are important for your psyche. I mean, like it's important for you to have something to believe in. And you know, there are many shows that address this that for those that like
Full
to watch
Metal
TV.
first comes to mind.
Yeah, you know, like it's important to believe in science. You know, blind faith in religion is stupid, but like if you have a world without faith, then I kind of feel like, or not just I, but many philosophers feel like a world without faith is a world without hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, like if you just believe in dead science, then you get people thinking that like, hey, you know, let's kill these people for the greater good of everyone else. You get Thanoses out there.
Yeah,
and that's an extreme example.
Yeah.
But I mean, like it happens. You know, it's important to teach people wellness practices along with the things that they learn.
Yeah. In a draw of and I was sponsored today for Full Metal Alchemist. In a draw of what you just said, obviously what we're viewing as, I would say, religion on one end, spirituality and science, I guess.
Yeah, but
and we should never put it into a triangle per se. It should be like a Venn diagram.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's more so the balance.
Yeah, exactly.
So rather than it would be like physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional, right?
Okay, yeah.
So rather than so rather than like spirituality and religion, which kind of coincide, you know, spirituality and religion would be in your spiritual section.
Mm-hmm.
And then in their physical section would be the sciences, your physical health, like working out and stuff like that, like making sure everything in the physical material plane with you, you know, like your money and all of that stuff, like the dharma and karma. I guess we can swing to that, but making sure all of your dharma is okay, right? And then your mental health is the things that stress you and the things that you look like, your learning, your ambitions, your the things that help you grow mentally, and the things that stress you out mentally. You know, having that imbalance is important for your mental health. And then you get your emotional health with your relationships. And as we said in the other one, you know, this is episode 2 of spirituality because the last one had to be scrapped and it's on YouTube and everything, and that's why we're bringing these things back up. But we're just talking about it more in depth. But you know, that was for the listeners. But you know, a balance like that is what's important to living a healthy lifestyle. You know, like don't buy into like all you need is spirituality or all you need is your loved one, because I feel like people put too much faith in finding a relationship. You know, people put too much faith in money. People put too much faith in like sciences and religion. It's what you truly need is a balance of the four to live a happy life.
You know what I also think? I had this in my mind recently. Always a balance is key to living a good and healthy life. And I think though that let's just assume baby is born balanced. Just in every way. Somehow, hypothetically, we have a balanced baby. This wouldn't be a good life to live. Because I think.
What do you mean, like here on Earth, or like the balanced baby wouldn't like being balanced wouldn't be a good life?
Yeah, exactly.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. Because I mean, it's like I think that's the paradox of things too. Because it's like you have to be balanced for a good life, but I think the balance only comes when you've struggled.
You know, I think there is like a key element to your struggle.
Yeah.
But I also think that, I mean, because then you would get into like what's being truly balanced, right? Because like, how could a baby be born balanced?
Yeah. It's a hypothetical.
Yeah, that's true. But because I think struggle is imperative to spiritual happiness.
Yeah.
Right. However, struggle takes away from physical happiness because you struggle, you're limited in your growth in life. Because say someone who was given money and support and education and given opportunities in life, they're at a lot better place to seek happiness than someone that wasn't given those things.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, struggle is important, but with struggle comes the taking away of potential. And I think that's important to note, It's if a baby was truly balanced, his mental state would be balanced as well. And I think he would look around at the struggles of others. So somewhat like the Buddha, right?
Yeah.
He would look around at the struggles of others and just kind of, how am I going to word? Like, learn from them, feel sorrow for them, and use that moving forward.
Yeah. And I could see a scenario where this hypothetical baby comes out balanced and he will be tested. You know what I mean? Because it's just
Avatar.
Like... Yeah, the Avatar. Because it's like such balance ingrained on people. Like, it's always nice to want your own happiness. But for some reason, some people always underappreciate another person's happiness. Someone's going to see this balanced person. He now has grown up, and it's just like, you're just so freaking happy. Fuck you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't think that has anything to do with his personal happiness. I mean, unless he cares about the viewpoints of others. But I mean, to him, he can have as many haters as he wants. But like, if he's balanced in the spiritual aspect, he would know to kind of just let that go.
Yeah.
Because delving too much into one area, I guess it would be like dharma and karma. Like, yeah, you should focus on your spiritual happiness through karma, but you also have to remember your dharma in saying your place in the society around you and what you have to do to make like yourself integrate in a way that allows you to pertain happiness, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't just go and meditate in the back room or something like that all day and then not have money for bills. Like, you have to take care of your responsibilities. And, last time I plugged the Midnight Gospel, I'm plugging it again. Go watch the Midnight Gospel. This show's fucking amazing.
Yeah, that and Full Metal, for sure.
Oh yeah, no, Full Metal...
I was going to say, I lost the train of thought earlier, but when we go back to Full Metal, first of all, if you have the time, watch both. Full Metal and Full Metal Brotherhood.
But watch Brotherhood if you don't.
Yeah, and watch Brotherhood if you don't. And a fantastic analogy over what we talked about having too much of one thing. The first 2, 3, and 4 will give you what you need to know about if you have too much of one thing.
I was actually watching a video about it, and they were saying the main struggle in it, and like what they find out like at the end of the day when all the lessons are in, is the antagonist was very focused on the sciences only. Yeah. And that's something that kind of went over my head because his plan specifically was the fact that he did not value, because he viewed everybody as just like elements, like we're carbon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and he didn't value, Spoiler. I guess, the well, I mean, I'm not saying who it is or what what he wanted, but he didn't value the essence of like a life. And on the other hand, there are many people that didn't value, I guess,
they valued
the sciences. Like they valued religion way too much. And what the importance of the show is, like, I guess the main characters are trying to find a balance. They're the only ones to reject the philosophy that they've been taught. Like, everyone on this side is like, well, science is a military all the way. Yeah. And everyone on this side is like religion all the way. And they're just like, no, these answers aren't right, because like, when they try to do the thing that like messes them up, it's just like, well, like all the components were there, but how come she's not there? What's the weight of a soul? And I think it's a really good watch, honestly.
It's such a good watch. Oh my goodness. And Midnight Gospel too, for sure. It's like, yeah, man. You just sound like hippies. This is all about the balance, man. Yeah, it's crazy to think about these things. But do you think in our society right now, there's a lack, I mean, we don't have a chance to be spiritual
Yeah, I think
in this tumultuous environment?
I think we're in a transitional phase. I think with the way that things are set up in more so a capitalist system, because like say if we were in a socialist system, we'd have a lot more free time for like pursuing passions, right? But the way that things are set up in a capitalist system, we don't have a lot of time to ourselves, which doesn't allow us spiritual growth. But even more so than that, the world is in a state of science. And with all these scientific discoveries and advancements, it's really easy to shun religion or anything that doesn't fall into like hard, tangible things out the wayside, right? Mm-hmm. But so the world has you focus and it's breeding people that are just like I guess like the asshole atheists, because there's like two types of atheists. There's cool atheists and asshole atheists.
Cool atheists.
But it's breeding a lot of asshole atheists, right? Who want to like shit on others for believing in what they believe in. And I think that that's like a product of the world, but it's really sad because we should teach people that you can believe in whatever you want because it doesn't harm anyone, Your faith and your religion is really important to like your core personality. Mm-hmm. And like, like I said, there's people that don't believe in religion that
they would argue that people are picturing their core personality from the religion.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess that's why you need the balance, right? Because like you need to know that there are things outside the religion, but your religion is also important.
Yeah,
like,
you can never just say
to your values.
Yeah, an atheist would say it's just like, well, we know not to kill a person. Why do you need religion for it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I mean, that's such a weird like philosophical concept because like that goes so far. Like, why? I'm gonna get really weird, right? But like,
go ahead.
Why do we know not to kill a person? I mean, like, yeah, as of right now, we know not to kill a person. Mm-hmm. But let's say there is no faith in the world, right? What stops people from saying, from saying like we should not kill a person? Like. Separation of church and state is very important, and it's something that I believe in when it comes to politics. Your religion should not be a part of your politics. But as of right now, politics and religion are intertwined in most places.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, most of the laws are based off of old religious ideals. Mm-hmm. It's not just, like, out of nowhere. They're just like, well, I mean, like, I don't think we should kill people. That came from... that came...
The guy in the corner. Hey, I don't like what you guys are doing.
That came from the Bible. And then, like, that was integrated into our society. Mm-hmm. Like, do I think it should have not come from the Bible? Like, of course, like, you shouldn't kill people.
Yeah.
But, there's you can't base your logic off of saying like you shouldn't believe in that just because like religion says it, because most of our beliefs come from the religion in the first place.
Yeah.
The only way we can know is have a society like thousands of years from now detached from religion and see how their ethics have been affected.
You know what I think it is? It's like I'm gonna go hard, so try to connect. Try to stick with me here. It's almost like the chicken and egg concept. It's like what came first,
mm-hmm.
and I think the knowledge of knowing not to kill a person is like knowing that you have an inherent fear of death, I say,
mm-hmm.
and that the unknown and the afterlife, and because of that, we have the faith. Because I mean, objectively, if we really want to go there, objectively, a big core of religion is the unknown of the afterlife.
Oh yeah, I'd say spirituality is more focused on personal wellness, while religion is focused on where are you going after you die.
And that's the big circle, and we won't really know what comes first, the knowledge of not killing a person or faith, because I think at the same time, it's like, yeah, I know not to kill a person, but I don't want him to face the unknown,
mm-hmm.
because I wouldn't want to do that to myself. So it's almost like an empathetic nerve sense,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So say you put someone in charge, like a leader who in 1,000 years from now, right? Or something like religion has ceased to exist. You put a leader in charge and he knows that if he kills half of the lower class, the rest of the country will prosper and they will not be a sad citizen ever. Everyone will They'll like he'll eliminate crime. Okay, let's even make it even better. He knows if he kills all of the criminals, he will eliminate crime forever, and everyone will live like a happy life, like just forever. Do you think that will happen? Do you think that religion plays a role in that not happening?
Damn, I'm trying to picture myself in that scenario. That's so...
Because I mean, like, without the core belief system, all you have is hard facts and logic.
Yeah.
And of course, like, there's the human aspect of it too, so none of that would like necessarily reign 100% true. But it is a factor in like what's to stop that from happening.
Mm-hmm. I really don't have an answer to that. I mean, a king objectively would just have to do it. It's just like, oh, my people will prosper. If he really cared about his people,
mm-hmm. And it won't even be like it'll be criminals, like that.
Those that have wronged the country.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I mean, like, me personally, obviously, I don't think anyone should die ever.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's really sad. But it's just like, in that situation, without beliefs and morals behind it, you would just have hard facts. And like, we already said that in the bus situation that we might kill somebody.
Yeah, and exactly.
Yeah, so then, what's the stopping that from happening at like a slightly larger level?
Yeah. Yeah. He would probably go about it. Screw all you criminals. My people will be happy.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I think that's why it's important, as far as religion itself goes, mm-hmm. But spiritual wellness on the individual level, with meditation and stuff like that to help you find personal growth and happiness. Is that's less so for like the morals and more just so for
honestly, I think it's a lifelong journey.
Yeah, no, I think so too. I think
you would never I don't think you'll ever find it.
Oh no, I don't think I will. Yeah. But the thing is, I grow, and
exactly.
With the growth that I experience, I'm happy.
A quote that I really love is it's a Japanese quote, or what do they call Asian quotes? They don't actually call it quotes. They call it Well, anyway, Japanese quote that says, "You live your entire life trying to find the perfect blossom." And you may never find it.
Basically, the journey, not the destination.
Yeah, exactly. And you may never find it, and who knows what happens if you do find it? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it's all about knowing that you will try to gain your happiness in finding something so pure and so wonderful that is a life worth living.
Yeah.
And because half an hour ago we were talking about it was implied that we didn't really care. Like, we're here, we're a big husk of human flesh, we're gonna die someday, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's crazy with those experiences, with everyone experiencing something different, you can see where happiness and where hatred can be bred from that, because everyone's different experience can like lead to the hatred of others. So like I'd say in religion, I guess spirituality wise, like you experience your journey, and I think it's about the journey, not the destination too, so you have more of a freeing life, if you kind of let go of those expectations and just experience the journey. But you flip the coin on that, and how a lot of people get it wrong is, religions, there have been a lot of killings and stuff over saying, this God is right, this God is right, this God is right. And what they need to focus on is their own spiritual journey, right? And not just pushing their beliefs onto other people. I guess it's like in those specific religions, they found their perfect cherry blossom. Yeah.
And they want to justify.
Yeah, they want everyone to look at their cherry blossom when everyone has to find their own cherry blossom.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, as far with that type of stuff, do you think? So you know what? I just remembered what I was going to say earlier. I was talking about like being atheist.
Mm-hmm.
I think even though there's like good atheists and bad atheists, I think that everyone don't quote me on this.
don't at him.
Don't at me, please. But I think that all atheists should be agnostic, personally.
Okay.
Yeah, just because I feel the same way with luck. Like one of my friends, he doesn't believe in luck. And he was just like, fuck it. Like, Like mirrors are bad luck. Like I'll break mirrors. I'll walk under ladders.
I mean, I'm kind of like that too.
Yeah, and you know, with you and ghosts,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
you know, I don't believe in ghosts, so I'm going to do things that like ghosts hate. And just like
I don't go that
yeah,
far.
okay. but my thing is there is no way for knowing for certain scientifically.
Yeah.
So science does not allow you to discern whether or not ghosts exist.
Yeah.
If you are a true scientist, there is no way that you cannot believe in ghosts because you cannot disprove it. So if that is the case, why would you personally go out of your way? And not you, because I know you're not spiting ghosts, but why would you go out of your way to spite ghosts or to cause bad luck, right?
Yeah.
Because personally, what I feel is if it doesn't hurt you to believe in luck, right? Like you not walking under that ladder isn't going to hurt you. So just don't do it. Like just keep in mind that it might exist. Like, so say you stay agnostic and you know, you don't necessarily have any beliefs in any religion, but you believe that there might be a higher power out there. And then like something happens, you die, and you go to heaven, you're just like, hey, like I wasn't an asshole or I mean just anything, because I mean
it's still nice to be realistic, because I mean at the end of the day, come on, let's be real, you can walk under a fucking ladder, you know? Just think that there are things that exist in the world that you're unaware of, and you can
outside of your control.
Outside of your control. This walking under the ladder is technically your control. You're not gonna break your mom's back by walking on a crack. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, like walking on the crack is like something that's scientifically testable, right? Like you can step on a crack, but like
go somewhere. It's like, hey, is your back broken?
But like with the ladder thing, and I guess with the agnostic thing, it's somewhat ignorant to just believe that there's nothing out there, because there are things that we can't comprehend out there in the universe, right? So why don't you accept that fact and go on living a life where you don't believe in religions, but accept the fact that there might be a higher power that you don't know about? Yeah. And I mean, with that,
with that in mind, I want to end it on a very
well. I mean, I think this can go a little longer. Time.
I want to end it on my part. I want to end it on my note that you know how you talked about how all religions end up kind of fighting in a sense because they want to show their cherry blossoms to other. At the end of the day, when we all die, one of us is right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I always felt the same way. Yeah. And, you know, it reminds me of the South Park episode where like they die and they all go to hell. And then, and then they're just like, well, what the hell? Or was it South Park or Family Guy? They're just like, what the hell?
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, like, oh, who was right? And then the guys is like, it was the Mormons. And they're like, oh. Oh, man, yeah. So, I mean, like...
Oh, man.
I mean, it's true. Well, I mean, not that. But don't at me. Mormonism is, like, obviously a lie. But, what? People cursed with dark skin? Come on, that's fucking terrible, dude.
Fuck off, Mormons.
Oh, but... I mean, I think what I was going to say is when it comes to the higher power, like, do you think that there's, like, a person out there? Or do you think that the higher power could be like the universe itself?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's not like a dude sitting on a cloud. You know?
Of course not. So, do you think that the culmination of the universe itself could be God?
Yeah, I mean, like we are like one big consciousness, or there's one essential gigantic consciousness, and we're all just a part of it, I guess.
So the collective consciousness.
Yeah. I mean, as we stated in our outtake episode, I would say I would like to believe that because it sounds like it's really true, but I like agency in our lives and individuality.
Yeah. So, and with a little explanation for those listening that haven't heard about the episode, or haven't seen the YouTube episode, I guess it's just how a colony of ants mimics the pathways of a human brain, right? Colonies of societies and on smaller and bigger levels could mimic like the thought process of a higher being, because, you know, you could have you start like at the cell level, and cells themselves have organelles and they're individuals within the body, and even though like a singular cell isn't very important to us, it's the culmination of cells that make us who we are. And, you know, you can step out and like those cells make up organs, and those organs make up people, and those people make up societies. And through like this way a society works is like an organism working itself, you know, like where societies themselves are self-sustaining. And you can take that even further, and those societies together make up governments and world governments, and those planets like moving out. And so I'm just rambling now, but taking it on a grander scale, you know, the universe, it's possible that the universe is conscious, and the consciousness of the universe is just the collective consciousness of like everyone within it. You know, I guess if religions think that God knows everything, that is a way for it to be God, right? Because if the universe is the collective consciousness of everything that exists within it, then obviously it would know everything because it is everything. And then you could even argue that like if parallel universes exist, maybe that big thing is a collective consciousness, or maybe there are other, like the other universes are other beings.
Yeah. Because
how could a cell? I know cells don't actually think, but I mean, that could be said about the universe and us, right? Like a cell cannot possibly comprehend the complex thought that a human has on a daily basis about needing a job and needing money. Like cells don't understand that concept because they don't even fucking think.
Yeah, they have a job.
Yeah, exactly. They have a job and they do that job and that's it. But to the universe at large, there are concepts that we couldn't even possibly wrap our minds around. Mm-hmm. Just because we're so small and insignificant in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, but don't dwell too hard on that, my friends. Know that everyone deserves their own spiritual happiness, and if these concepts are just a little bit too much for you, just focus on yourself first.
Yeah, I think we'll end it off with like the story of the egg.
Yeah. Just
because we said it last time, we got interrupted by Return of the Mac. But so the egg, we can expand on it later, but I just want to say the story. There's a channel on YouTube that talks about it, but they get a little bit wrong with it. So I just wanted to say my piece from what I've learned while traveling from the story that someone's told me. So you're born in a room with nothingness, right? And in this room is not white, and you know, there's no color in the room. It's just clear, like looking at an infinite amount of windows. You know, there's and you can't fathom it because there's no color. It's just clear. Like you can't fathom what it's like to not see anything beyond the clearness, because if we're looking at a window, obviously we're looking at what's outside. But if there's nothing outside, you know, it's not, we wouldn't say like it's darkness or white, like it's just clear. In the room is another being. When you're waking up, the being asks you if you remember anything. You say that you don't. And he says, you know, just give it time. You know, you always get like this whenever you come back. And so you're confused, and you and the being start having a conversation. You know, I'm getting kind of sidetracked. I should focus. But in the conversation, it's revealed that you just lived the life of Bao. Mm. You know, you were a podcast host. Mm-hmm. You were this, that. You died in your late 80s. You know, you loved for a very long time. Multiple people. You had orgies.
Oh,
and
what a life.
Yeah. Thousands and thousands of orgies. But, you know, you live this life. And next, you're going to be coming back as Ben. And in this lifetime, you know, you're going to start a podcast with Bao, and you're going to do many, many things within your life, you know, and you know this, you know that you come back as Ben, but as Ben, you can't remember your lifetime as Bao because a human brain or whatever brain you're living as can only hold so much consciousness. And so that's why all your collective consciousness is kept in this outside room after you die. So you start remembering all the lives you lived, and it comes to your attention that you are going to live the life of not only every single person, but every single living thing, and not only just in this time, but from the beginning to the end of time. And since time is just a concept here, that means time itself doesn't exist. So the person that you're talking to is God, because he's experienced all these lifetimes, but he's also you, because he's you after you experience these lifetimes. And it's kind of trippy to talk about because like we don't have more time to talk about this. But you will live as every single blade of grass, every dog, every animal, every alien, every person. And each experience and lifetime is just going to be you experiencing it from a different angle. And once you've experienced all these lifetimes, you will know the core nature of the universe because you will understand everything. And as that, you will be God. But you've already experienced this because time doesn't exist. And that's why you're going to be experiencing it until the end of time. But you've already experienced it, so you're already God. But the point of that story is we're all connected. In this, we're all the same person, just experiencing life from different angles, different viewpoints, different genetics. But inside, we're just the same person talking to the same, all of us. And I think that's really beautiful. So, Ben and Bao, not the food.
That is your ASMR.
Yeah. Ben and Bao.
Bay and Bao.
Bay and Bao.
Yeah.
Ben and Bao, not the food. We'll talk more about the egg next time if people want us to talk about it. But until then, enjoy yourself. Stay safe, wear a mask, practice spiritual wellness and balance.
Goodbye.